Can go ahead.
Okay, this is the Director General of Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency, that's Dr. Radda, who will be briefing us on the details of the program coming up. Like, it's an interest-free loan in partnership with Jais Bank. Let's hear from the hostess mouth. Doctor, welcome aboard to this.
Thank you very much for having me on this platform, and we are grateful.
Okay, we need details of this program. What is it about, how to apply to it, and all that?
I think I have to take you through the historical perspective and the reason behind the collaboration between SMEDAN and the commercial banks for the execution of the matching fund. As we are all aware, SMEDAN is not a funding agency, and most of the activities of SMEDAN are technical in nature. The kind of support they provide to macro, small and medium enterprises does not involve providing financial support, because SMEDAN is not a financial institution, and the act that establishes the agency does not allow it to do those activities. But there is growing need by the macro, small and medium enterprises on the need for financing, and it's not that the finance lines are not available with the commercial banks, development banks, as well as microfinance banks, but it is always difficult for small and medium, both small and micro businesses to access funding. Why? Because the conditions to access funding by the commercial banks, microfinance banks, as well as even the development banks is so difficult for the MSME to meet. So the money has been laying with the banks, but there are no macro, small, mid enterprises to access those funding, because they lack the requirement to access the funding. So SMEDAN felt that we should come in. We should see how we can support in that effort to address the issue of financing of the enterprises in the country. So we came up with this initiative of matching fund. SMEDAN will provide some funding to commercial banks, and then the commercial banks will match equal amount to their funding, and then we should agree, both of us, on the conditions and the requirement that will not be so difficult for the macro businesses to meet. And again, we also focus our attention on the aggregate value chain, because most of our entrepreneurs in Nigeria, about 70 to 80% are into aggregate sector value addition or value chain, from the primary production to the secondary production. And we felt that our interventions to target aggregate-based products and services, so that we can help in the effort of Mr. President to uplift the over 100 million out of poverty, as well as providing sustainable food production, and then so that the country can harness one of its potentials. That is, one of the potential of the country is agriculture, and we are trying to see how we can support that initiative to ensure that the value chain in agricultural sector is addressed. Especially now that when you look at most of our primary producers in the areas of production, you see that they sell their product immediately after harvest, and that prevents them from gaining much profit, or at sometimes they don't make any money, but rather people that add value into their products get a lot of money, more than what those people need. So it means, why can't we encourage the farmers to add value in what they produce, so that they maximize the profit, they may have a better income generation, as well as as well as uplift their as well as uplift their standard of living, and then help to grow the economy of our country in this regard. So I think this was the reason for us to start. This thing was started in the year 2018, and we started the collaboration with the Bank of Agriculture, and but unfortunately, up to today, we were not able to start disbursement of the money because of some technical hitches that comes up on our MOU with the Bank of Agriculture, but we were able to solve that problem. And the first batch of the entrepreneurs that were selected under our collaboration with the Bank of Agriculture, anytime soon they will start getting their money. But the contribution of our agency has already been with the Bank of Agriculture, awaiting to clear all these hitches so that the first disbursement can start, and which we hope by the end of this month or before the end of this month, something tangible will come up from that collaboration. But we have separated the tentacle because the money keep on increasing for the matching. And this year we collaborated with Jais Bank for the implementation of 2022 budget, 2021 budget on the matching fund, and we have already signed MOU with them, and we have gone public because we have advertised to the general public. This year we are going to only 4 states. These states are Katsina, Kogi, Bauchi and Adamawa states, and we are also going to start another program which will cover another 4 states in the southern part of the country, and that one we hope to do it along with the Sterling Bank, but we are yet to finalize on some of the agreement with Sterling Bank. But once we finalize, we also go into public and we will announce those states the agency is going to support. And the criteria is very simple. You must be into agricultural primary or secondary production, and then you must be a Nigerian. You must have an existing business that you want to support with some funding to increase the funding, to reduce the funding gap that exists in those enterprises. And then also part of the security requirement for the loan includes provision of the VVN, which is the basic requirement, and anybody who has a bank account must have it, and it helps us to track down the loan. And also, if you have an insurance cover, will also be an added advantage, whether Tawakkaltu insurance cover through the Jais Bank, or if you have the National Agricultural Insurance NAIC registration, it will be an added advantage. Then what is required for anybody is to go through the website, and there is link in SMEDAN website, www.smedan.gov, and there is a link that shows SMEDAN Jais matching fund. When you click on it, you can go into the form, fill in all the requirement that is needed in the form. There will be assessment, and which will be done from a reputable consultant. And after that, the whole application process, when you write your business plan and submit, SMEDAN is going to examine the business plan and try to make assessment on those who are eligible and those who qualified the most. And enterprises can apply from 2 to 5 million because it's targeted at macro and small businesses. And I think that opportunity is it's enough opportunity that will help to reduce the funding gap requirement of the enterprises within the value chain. And then once the application is processed, and those ones that are eligible, and all those that applied, will conduct a pre-training program for them, which will build their capacity and train them on the entrepreneurship capacity, which will enable them actually, when they get the loan, to be able to manage it well and to be able to make a lot of profit out of it and get out of the loan smoothly. And people should know that this program, we target a one-digit interest rate, and it's only one-digit interest rate, and we have a moratorium of 6 months within which you can develop your business before you start repaying. And you have the window from moratorium of 6 months to the repayment period completely, you have 30 months. So that means after the moratorium of 6 months, you have 2 years to repay back the loan, and the interest rate is very low. Why it is one digit? Because the agency is not interested in any of the interest. The component of the interest rate, which is one digit, is going to the commercial bank to enable them be able to address some of the financial challenges as a result of the disbursement, administration of the loan, as well as recovery of the loan by the financial institution. I think this is in brief what the program is all about, and we hope and pray that people who are eligible, because when they read the advert, they will be able to see all the requirements needed, and we assure you that anybody who is able to meet up the requirement, and I want to assure them that there is no favoritism in this. Everybody, every Nigerian is eligible to apply, and I assure him that there is going to be transparency in the process, and the first assessment is going to be done by the computer, so it's not going to be done by an individual. So people will just be, the application will be rejected or accepted based on the requirements that are available and based on how you are able to meet those requirements. And the requirements are very simple, that makes it easy for every macro, small enterprises to grasp at and take advantage of the window.
Yeah, before we call it a wrap, there are some questions, and before we go to the questions, let's start with the point that you made about the program. I mean, you said that every Nigerian can participate, but you mentioned 4 states. Do you mean every Nigerian in those 4 states can participate, irrespective of whether they are from those states you mentioned?
That is exactly what I mean. The Nigerians that are living within those states can be able to participate. You know, the one that we did also under the with BOA, it also targeted 2 states, and we were targeting 4 now, and the one we are going to enter with the Sterling Bank is also going to target 4 states in the southern part of the country to ensure equitable distribution of resources. And we hope this year 2022 we'll target different states until such a period that we have covered all the states. Because of because we don't have all the funding that can cover all the states of the federation, we have to start from some other states so that we continue to grow it up to the time that we will complete the cycle and it goes across all the states of the federation.
And now quickly to the questions from the viewers and listeners somewhere. Someone, CEO Sarlubem said, good initiative, but that particular bank, JAIS, is not in most locations where people can get access to it.
I think most of this thing is online. We are now going online. We don't need to have a physical branch before you can be able to apply. This application goes online, and we have offices in all the states of the federation, and anybody can go into any of our state office and ask questions and be guided appropriately. And if you go to our website, given the guidelines, you will be able to do it seamlessly without getting any difficulty. And in all the states I mentioned, there is no one particular state that doesn't have JAIS Bank branch in that state. Katsina has, Kogi has, Adamawa has, Bauchi State has. In some places, they have more than one branch. So I think it is not going to be an issue. The issue of disbursement is not an issue. The issue of application is not an issue because we have online platform everywhere anyhow.
Okay, and even though you've kind of answered this question, Abubakar Abdulaziz Abubakar said, why is Kanu not included in this 2021 interest-free loan?
Kano was included in the last year's, that means 2020-2019 scheme under the Bank of Agriculture.
Okay, another person said, Umar then said, so please, what is the benefit of having a SMEDAN certificate while no any consideration in financial institutions, even the government agencies? Some having that certificate more than a year without getting anything apart from. So please, what's the problem?
Yes, people have a different perception on that registration. That registration is not done for a basic reason of giving somebody a loan or for giving you some empowerment materials. The registration was done in order to have a comprehensive data on all the MSMEs in the country, their location, their product, what they do. It makes it easier for anybody who needs those kind of services and products to be able to go to our website and get in touch with with the particulars of those entrepreneur and be able to get what he wants first. Secondly, if you have SMEDAN registration, it has an added advantage even if you are applying for this loan against those people who doesn't have SMEDAN unique identification number. And thirdly, any program SMEDAN is doing, it considers those people who have registration with the agency than those people who don't have registration with the agency. And we want to make it, in fact, we are making effort to make it to make an executive order that any intervention of the federal government without this unique identification number will not be considered. So I think if over time there is going to be so many advantages with the registration, even for not getting anything from government, but for some people to be able to go to the website of SMEDAN and try to get what they want, either in terms of product or services provided by the small macro enterprises, is enough benefit that can bring more money, more profit, more income to that enterprise.
Okay, Job Dixon said, I've never had anything that has to do with just Plateau State. What's going on?
I have mentioned it earlier that we are going to all the states of the Federation, but we have to start from somewhere, and probably next year it will be the turn of Plateau State, and we have done a lot. Even this year we are going to do conditional grant scheme in Plateau State, which will benefit over 2,000 enterprises in the states. So it goes to every state, but it has to be over time.
Okay, Abubakar Abdulaziz said, another suggestion, recently we have done SMEDAN training on Google digital skills and we were given certificates. So can't you restrict it to people that benefited from the Google skills certificate?
But Google skills certificate is a training that was done based on digital e-business and e-commerce. So I don't see any relationship between the e-commerce with the agricultural value addition on the product. So I think they are entirely two different, until if he wants to use his digital skills and to also invest in agricultural value addition, so that he takes the full advantage of the whole cycle.
Okay, Ibrahim said those in other sectors not in agriculture like technology, engineering, etc. are they eligible?
No, they are not. I think there are other programs that cater for those kind of people. But this one is targeted at aggregate and agricultural value addition.
Okay, someone said, can someone from Kaduna State register? The DJ already explained that. So far you are in these 4 states, you can register wherever you are from in Nigeria. And let's take a few more questions before we call it a wrap. Oh, okay, someone said let the program be extended to the southwestern part of the country. And you've mentioned this earlier that it will be, I'm scrolling to get more questions. Okay, the site for the registration again. Someone asked.
You know, they need to go to SMEDAN, www.smedan.gov.ng, and then be able to see a link under that. There is a link which says SMEDAN Jais Matching Fund. Click on that link, and then you get to where you want to go.
Okay, someone said apart from the loan, this loan scheme, is there any other loan scheme that one can access? Engineer Anis.
Honestly, there are so many loan schemes with the commercial banks, with the development banks, including NASAL, Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, and then Development Bank of Nigeria, and other microfinance banks. So there are so many schemes, and I think we have a portal which we call Credit Information Portal that has all information on the available loan schemes that exist within the banking sector. And I think that website is updated. If they can Google it, and then if they can go into other commercial banks or financial institution website, they will see a lot of loans available. But the major challenge is the requirement. Meeting the requirement is the major challenge for the macro and small and macro businesses in the country.
Okay, this person said, DJ sir, please can you give us explanation on NG Cares brands, which is just initiated. NG, Nigeria, NG.
And honestly, I'm not aware of that scheme.
Okay. Let's take a few more questions and call it a wrap. That's the DG of SMEDAN, Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency in Nigeria, giving information on the new scheme or interest-free loan that will be between the agency and Jais Bank, where 4 states, including Kaduna, would be benefiting. So far you're Nigerian, you can benefit from this scheme if you're in these 4 states mentioned earlier. So, a few more questions. Okay, the link for this application will be pinned to this post, so you can click on the link and get to the website and do your registration. Okay, this is where we'll call it a wrap. The questions we can take at this moment. Many thanks for joining. See you again soon on this platform.